What is up, everybody? Welcome here to Half Ass Pod. It's your boy Corn. You already know what it is. Today, I am joined here by none other than Brother Jake for this Halloween Kills discussion, man. Brother Jake, say what's up to everybody,
What's up, everybody? It's good to be back, America.
man. So, as y'all know, this week we have Halloween Ends coming out. I believe it's Thursday. Uh, do be on the lookout as Jake and I are going to be doing the watch party for Halloween Ends this weekend as well at some point. So be on the lookout for that for the time. And that, yes, that will be live, by the way, just letting you guys know. But Jake, let's go ahead and get into this whole Halloween kill because we got a lot to talk about when it comes to this movie. So Jake and I, we've watched Halloween 2018. We've now watched Halloween Kills. Getting ready for Halloween Ends. How did you feel going into this movie, and how did you feel coming out of this movie?
Okay, kills like because I remember seeing all the trailers last year, and I almost made the decision to go see it, and I just ended up, just like, you know what? I just kind of put it off, and so going into it, I kind of admit I was definitely kind of just a little underwhelmed. I just really didn't because I did have my gripes with the previous one. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I could definitely say it looked. The trailers looked good. They didn't look bad. I just had no interest in it. It's like just they're just slogging more remakes out in the theaters. So um, and then when coming out of it, yeah, I was very like had a when I come out of the 2018 version, I was a little more mixed, but definitely on the positive side. Coming out of this one, I was hyped. I was like, oh damn, like this one was definitely like a great like this part. I kicked myself for not going to seeing this one in theaters. It probably would have been so fun to go see in the theaters.
Yeah, and it was until we got to that hospital scene.
Uh,
Where it just made no fucking sense. That hospital scene made no fucking sense, but we'll get into that
yeah,
here in a
it's
second.
just
But but coming out of that movie, I mean, you said that okay, yeah, we're now in pretty much fifth gear when it comes to the Halloween franchise, right?
yeah.
But coming out of this movie, how did you feel about Michael Myers? Because we talked about the presence of Michael Myers in 2018, where you do feel a large presence whenever he's on screen.
Yeah.
Halloween Kills kind of dialed that up to basically
As
top
high as it
notch.
can go, yeah. That for real, like this is like, pedal to the metal. Like, like this is Michael is the terror. It feels like the previous movie was sort of setting the table for the, feast that we got here because Michael is again terrifying. The whole reason to see the movie, this dude kills so many people, and it's just his presence. Again, it feels like it's not like you said. It's getting worse. It's getting
Hmm.
more like dangerous. And that's really the way that I thought what I was going for. Like as the night's getting as and seeing how the rest of the movie pans out too. The actual ending too also really kind of you know that same feeling. I felt like it came to an absolute head at the very end, and it's like holy shit. I didn't even think I did not know they was going to take Michael this far, but they did, and yeah, so it was very awesome.
The kills are what kind of kept me into this movie, to be honest.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess no pun intended, right, with the title of the
of
movie
course,
being kills, but the
kills.
kills are really
It
what kept
lives
me
up
into this
to it.
movie, and the story fell flat to me, to be honest, because all this time we thought it was about Laurie Strode. Then we find out halfway through the fucking movie that it's about that it's not about Laurie Strode. That we technically at this point don't know what it's about because it can't be about Sheriff Hawkins, right?
Yeah,
Because what was 2018 about if this was about Sheriff Hawkins? So I think this is about the entire city or the entire town per se of Haddonfield.
it is.
And then you go back to that flashback scene, which, oh, by the way,
Yeah,
I want to mention with that flashback scene, and this is what we were talking about, where I said I didn't want to spoil too much for you when we talked
yeah,
about 2018. That flashback scene told us a lot,
yeah,
especially when it comes to the the obvious message of that, of Michael Myers looking out that fucking window.
yeah,
Him looking out of that window, and they're saying that pretty much he's looking at Haddonfield, but he's looking inside, all this other stuff, all this innuendo stuff. How did you feel about that? Because obviously we got to the end of the movie where Karen was standing in the exact same spot. She was killed. We saw the cop where he got killed. Um, and again, I cannot mention this enough, man. This was beautiful. This was
yeah.
freaking beautiful. Like, the cinematography in this movie was to me top
Fine.
notch.
Yeah,
Top fucking notch. And of course, we got to see Dr. Loomis in the background, a different version of Dr. Loomis. So, Jake, before we move forward, man, I want to ask you about this flashback scene. I
yeah,
really do, because I loved everything about it. We got to see Loomis again. I got that old feel. It's nothing like seeing this scene in a full movie theater on the first night, when it's like I saw this in a movie theater the first night it came out, and everybody was going crazy. A lot of people knew about that there was going to be a flashback scene. I didn't know there was going to be a flashback scene. So it was a huge surprise for me, to be honest. But
yeah,
how did you feel? Because we got a new Dr. Loomis. This guy, as you can see, I mean, he
yeah.
had to transform to be Loomis, and of course, I'm sure they probably put a little more CGI maybe into that as well.
They did a
But
good job.
yeah, I mean, how did you feel about this flashback scene overall?
Overall, it wasn't a bad way to start the movie for sure. I liked it. I thought, like, you told me you didn't want to spoil it for me, because when you actually, because hearing like someone do the Loomis voice, is one thing, but then seeing him, it
Hmm.
kind of like it's a good feeling. It's like there's Donald Pleasant, man, because that's really one of that parts I've been missing in this movie, because it really shows how important the Loomis character was in the original. In fact, not just the original movie, but the series.
Yeah, the
You
entire
know,
franchise. Yeah.
like he was amazing, and like we talked about how much we loved the four, and that was one of his very best, because it's like,
Performances. Yeah.
and the way that movie ends too, just says like, no, yeah, like it was such a, so but every subsequent movie, including the H2O movies, his presence was missed,
Hmm. Yeah.
because you got to have the interpreter who's warning us all about the boogeyman, because
Yeah.
Loomis understood more than anybody that how dangerous this foe was. And the flashback scene was beautifully shot. I love that scene right there. Like,
Hmm.
that is like mirroring in the original movie when Michael
Yeah.
was a kid, right?
And the way he stands right there, you see like it where his hands hang in front of him, and
Oh my
I'm
god.
just like, bro, like that scene that came out of nowhere. When you see it, it's nothing like seeing this movie for the first time.
Yeah,
Again, this movie's not great. I do want to say that, but Jesus Christ, man, the things that happen in this movie are
yeah,
great. But
definitely.
we'll get to the story here in a bit of what makes it not great.
Yeah.
But man, chef's kiss to
Mm,
whoever had the
fuck yeah.
idea of putting a flashback scene in
Compliments.
here and actually honoring the late 70s original. So, but I do want to talk about this part as well, because we got to see pretty much Sheriff Hawkins, his partner, or I guess his, whoever this guy is, one of the senior officers that was with him, that ended up getting killed by Michael Myers. I like his movement. I like that we got to see Michael Myers move a little bit fast in this one.
Yeah,
And to me, I gotta say, if we do end up getting, I mean, we're gonna get more Michael Myers movies. I mean, I understand that this is gonna be the end all be all of all the Michael Myers, but we know
yeah,
that they're going to make another Halloween movie. May not even be in this decade of the 2020s, but I'm sure in the 2030s they're gonna revive Michael Myers. Make
yeah,
him quicker. I like this scene because a lot of people complain about, oh, Michael Myers moving so fast in this one, and it came out. That's not Michael Myers. it's like, fam, there's a lot of things to complain about this movie and to complain about, this new trilogy that they're doing. But this isn't one of them. Michael Myers being fast and being quick and also still being powerful and being able to choke the ever living shit out of this dude. I loved it. I loved everything about this flashback scene. How do you feel about Michael Myers moving just a little bit faster than he usually does?
It's actually not. It's I don't know why people kind of latch onto that. I guess you usually when you see him, he's always just this. He's the shape. You know what I mean? His moves seem so menacing the way he's. But I've never pegged him as a slow moving character. I always pegged him as unpredictable. You never know what he'll do, and that sort of this and it got a little jerk out of me when he just comes kind of just so quick comes in so quickly, because it shows that he can be very swift, very quick if he needs to be. And then later in the movie, you see him get on top of the car, and that's another little throwback. Because the nurse character from the original movie was in the car too, and
Yep.
that at least shows, and to me, that shows that Michael's always had the ability to move pretty quick. Like in the original, he hops up on top of the roof and and just you never just see him full up, jogging, you know. And to me, that's I don't need to see him do that, but to me, something immediate, quick, you know, deadly. I don't see any problem with that. And to me, it got a good jarring kind of kill, moment.
Yeah, I loved it, man. Again, I have no complaints when it comes to that flashback scene. Shout out to Revex Content. He says, "I'm hoping this one is good. I wasn't impressed with the last one." Man, look, this one, and we're gonna talk more about Halloween Ends here in a bit, but I gotta say, Halloween Kills to me was much better than 2018 because I thought 2018 was dog shit. But look, Halloween Ends is going to be. I'm not as excited for Halloween Ends as most people are. I'm just not, because we already know it's going to end. But they kind of tied their hands with how they're going to end this, man. I really don't know how they're really going to end the story of Michael Myers and Laurie Strode. This could end a number of ways, but hey, we'll see. We'll see. I'm not super excited for this movie, but I am looking forward to it. I can say that I am anticipating it. It's just, no matter what happens, we know that we're gonna get some kind of spinoff, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, this franchise has made too much money, and there's too much money for this franchise to continue to make for them to stop this story. So
for sure, it's to answer, but yeah, Rev, this one's definitely worth watching, and so far, I think we would both agree that you need to watch this one. It is the funnest of the bunch at this point.
Facts. And shout out Revex Content. Thank you for supporting the channel as usual. But yeah, look, Dr. Loomis, the guy that played Dr. Loomis, man, I'm glad they did this, bro. I'm so glad they did this, because I thought that, when you hear the voice of Dr. Loomis, everybody was freaking out. We were like, oh my God, we heard Dr. Loomis. And then all of a sudden you see him. And we knew that this wasn't an original scene. So we knew it either had to be somebody, or maybe there's CGI, somebody, who the fuck knows. And then all of a sudden it comes out that, oh yeah, it was an actual guy that they put into makeup and all this other stuff to make him look like, you cannot tell me this doesn't look like Dr. Loomis, man.
Yeah.
And the way he sounds, oh my God.
Yeah.
The way they did his voice.
Yeah.
You know what?
That was a cherry on the top.
Yes. An unpopular opinion, you know what I think they should do? Is if they do a spinoff or a remake or a reboot of this franchise, go back and put it in 1978, but do it in that style. Like, do it with the cinematography has to emulate the cinematography from 1978. Like the way they did it in this movie, do the whole movie that way. It's going to cost a lot of money to fucking do that. I get it. But hey, you might have something on your hands if you do it that way, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Another thing I'd love to see is them. I don't know. I would like to see them tell the story of the from 4. You know what I mean? I think that story would be an interesting one. And just do it. To me, they're getting to a point where you might as well just kind of do it MCU style if you're gonna keep the franchise going like this. Just have a different kind of alternate reality where
Like a continuation of 4.
yeah, something like that maybe.
So you're talking about like them disregarding 5 and 6, then, right?
Maybe because 5 had a weird ending.
But 5 had some important stuff happen. Remember, Rachel got killed in 5.
It was a great, yeah. There's parts of 5 I really still like. I still kind of watch it alongside 4, but to me, it's like I didn't get to see Kurt, the one that come after that until like years after, and so the way it ended, it always confused me as a kid. I was like, what happens next? What the hell
Yeah.
was that? Did the Undertaker just walk in with a machine gun and break out Michael Myers?
Hey,
I mean,
man.
Jesus.
5 I still really like a lot. 6 is the one I've seen the least amount of times of all the Halloween movies. I've even seen Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 more than I have seen Halloween 6. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing.
It's, it's a good thing. Just that movie is horrible. It killed the franchise, and then that's why they rebooted it in H20. But we like how we do. Like we can't help but talk about the rest of the franchise because there's still so much there too.
Yeah.
So much
And
they can take from.
and talking about the rest of the franchise, man, we gotta talk about these legacy characters, bro.
Yeah.
Oh
Little
man.
much.
Yeah, okay, so you agree then, because I thought we were gonna
Little
disagree
much.
on that. I
I
thought we
didn't
were
need
gonna
to see
disagree on that
every fucking buddy.
because these legacy characters, bro, I'm like, bro, like, what is this, Scream at this point? Like, we don't need to bring back all
Yeah.
these. And then, like, they bring back Tommy, and Tommy's not even the real fucking Tommy. Look, I like
Yeah.
Anthony Michael Hall. I've seen him in other stuff. He's one of those actors where it's like, who he is, he's good at, like, he's very talented because he's in a lot of shit, but you can't really pinpoint on exactly what you've seen him in. Anthony Michael Hall's been in a lot of shit, but him being Tommy, I don't know why they couldn't get the original Tommy. I don't know all the behind the scenes stuff like that, like a lot of these YouTubers do. But so I don't know why they couldn't get it, because they got the original Lindsay, but for some reason or another, they couldn't get the original Tommy character. So they ended up getting Anthony Michael Hall, which, I mean, with what they got, or with what he got with this role and with the script, he did what he could do. He knocked it out of the park. I thought he did a great job acting as a character and portraying that character. But here's the only problem is that how do you have Tommy show up now? Where was he at in the 28? Like, okay, I understand everybody's just now finding out that all this shit happened, but it's just like, fam, they did nothing with this character in this movie in terms of building him, because you have Lindsay where you're building her. She has this encounter with Michael Myers. She's running around. She's scared, blah, blah, whatever. By the end of the movie, you know that Lindsay still has a story to tell when she comes face to face with Michael Myers. Yeah. Tommy just goes in there gun-ho with a fucking bat against Michael Myers, thinking that's going to be the fucking solution. It's just like, what? Why are you writing this character this way?
Yeah.
Why are you writing the character to be a fucking idiot? And then he leads a mob midway in the movie to get a mental patient and run off the fucking cliff.
Oh God. Fuck, man.
Which obviously the worst part of the entire fucking movie, by the way. Probably, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna say it is the worst part. My least favorite part of any Halloween movie I've seen in the entire franchise. That part, and that's what really makes me not like this movie, to be honest. Jamie Lee Curtis herself wanted to input this kind of shit into this franchise, by the way. Yeah. This was all Jamie Lee Curtis. This is her brainchild. This scene.
I didn't know that. That
had
weird.
Nothing to do with the entire movie. Just wanted to. A mob chases a mental patient, and they think that it's Michael Myers, and they're trying to tell him it's not Michael Myers. And I'm like, bruh, Jamie Lee Curtis just putting in these stupid like, look, man, I'm not here to. This ain't the time for me to sit here and bash SJWs and all this other shit. But Jesus Christ, man, you can't input your SJW bullshit into a horror movie franchise like this, at least in that way. You know what I mean? You can't have a fucking mob chase down a short 5'2" fat mental patient, and they think that it's fucking Michael Myers.
Yeah, like
And then he
that
jumps
was
off the cliff and dies.
yeah, and the way they like did it too, like it was just he popped like a zit as soon as he landed. I mean, it was like, well, if he was trying to make a point, having him literally like that concrete ground fucking wrecked him. Like, like Jesus. It was a really uncomfortable scene, and I get the point that angry mobs don't solve anything and they actually make things worse. To me, they didn't have to do that to get
Mhm.
across that what Michael Myers is doing, what this man is, his decisions has led to this town just falling into chaos. You could have got that point across without, you know, doing that. Just making a mental patient dive. Just it was shoehorned in, and it was just
Mhm.
gross. You know what I mean? And to me, it's like, yeah, I like the idea that, of course, these killings, just what he's doing has got people freaking out. They're grieving, and they
Mhm.
want to string some motherfuckers up. But
Facts.
having it, you could have had that lead to anything. I don't believe that. Fuck that. If there's a killer going around in my town, I'm getting loading my family up and getting the fuck out of Dodge. I ain't gonna get my pickaxes and going, burn it down. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Burn
I
down the mill.
I gotta say though that last fight scene we got to see him. We got to see him without his mask. I don't know if you ever
Yeah,
catch that, but when he was putting his mask back on, you saw his face clear as day. For
yeah,
about literally maybe like half a second or maybe 2 seconds, probably.
yeah. It
I
was.
actually like that aspect because you wouldn't really expect that in the second movie of a trilogy. So I'm glad they gave us that at least. You know what I mean?
I
Um,
enjoyed that the whole when it actually after the bullshit. At the actual finale of that film was really good too. So I agree. Where Karen, comes in again. Because another thing is like the granddaughter character is so stupid. Like
yep, I've been saying that for years. Yep,
stupid. Like
yep,
you are shocked that you just got your boyfriend killed, who you suddenly made up with, and his father got killed. Like to me, it doesn't because she has direct. She was literally has seen Michael in action. She knows this motherfucker is unstoppable.
yeah,
And you're gonna go in there with a shotgun thinking you stand a chance?
yeah.
Come on, man. That's just bad
Again,
writing.
yeah. That's what I was gonna say. Again, terrible fucking writing.
Yeah,
Terrible fucking writing. And
lazy.
I want to go with this as well because I like David Gordon Green as a director in terms of the way he shoots his movies. At least these two movies that we have seen, I like the way they shoot them. But
Yep.
this was a little over dramatic. The introduction to these legacy characters was a little over dramatic. I mean, the whole I like the way they're doing where Tommy is kind of leading this whole surge of like this is Halloween night, it's a great night for us to celebrate and blah blah and you know
Yeah.
it's Halloween.
It's
Okay.
Halloween.
So
They
we can
get
have
together.
fun. Yeah, like we can have fun and all this other stuff, but at the same time, you have to realize what happened 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And we have to realize that now as a town, this is something very like this is basically like their 9/11, right? I mean,
Yeah.
not to like, not to kind of generalize 9/11 or whatever the fuck,
Yeah.
but it's basically like this town's 9/11. Like I'm like just like how Colorado, that city in Colorado has the Columbine. I'm sure when they take off every year and remember what the events that happened. I'm sure they do this in Haddonfield, right?
Yeah.
That's something that's realistic. So I'm
Yeah.
glad they
True.
put that in there. I'm glad they put the bar scene in there. But this whole like, when they get to the scene and the camera is sitting there like real low and they're not showing anybody's faces, you're just hearing them, like that's over dramatic to me. Like, fam, these characters are not that important. Like Lindsay was not that important of a character. We saw
No.
Tommy again as Paul Rudd in the sixth one, what everybody wants to forget about, the movie that everybody wants to forget. So we
Yeah.
don't really need this whole face reveal of Tommy and Lindsay and the nurse. Like, fam,
I'm not gonna
A
recognize
little
them.
too dramatic.
Like
Yeah,
no one's gonna recognize them, you know.
yeah.
And even fan like to me, I only reason I remember that kid's name is Lonnie is because Loomis said he was hiding in the bushes. Get your ass away from there, Lonnie. There's like that's the only reason I would know that asshole kid.
So,
But
another scene though. This is actually one of my favorite scenes of this movie, and we saw a little bit of it in the previews or the trailer or whatever that came out before the movie released. But I have to talk about this, man. Michael Myers versus the firefighters. This scene was so badass, bro.
yeah,
So badass.
fuck
Now, we all know that it's not believable, but everything that happens in the Halloween franchise is not really that believable, right? The fact
yeah,
that Michael Myers even fucking exists
it's
is
not.
not believable. All right.
Yeah,
So we get that one man that moves what seems like as slow as a fucking snail can take out 10 firefighters within a 2-minute span. But Jesus Christ, man, when you watch this scene, it makes you believe that Michael Myers can take out 10 firefighters
yeah,
in a span of 2 minutes. Like, to me, this scene was one of my favorites. This scene and the scene where he's killing the old lady and her husband, and he used her husband as a pincushion, and
yeah,
then the camera's panning from like her point of view. Another chef's
yeah.
kiss moment.
Good shit.
Uh, but yeah, look, Jake, how do you feel about these kills in this movie, and which one was actually your favorite?
The movie started off like when you actually get to the firefighter scene. Well, first off, I love the way it's like it, the way Michael. I was wondering how was Michael going to survive the fire, and then it just like when you actually see it and without spoiling it, it just goes up and it's like, oh shit, I forgot about that.
Yep.
You probably would be totally safe in there. Damn it, Lori, you didn't think it through. You did not
Bro,
think this
what
through.
was that? Was that like a garage door? What was that?
It was where she had those fucking guns in, you know.
Oh, okay, okay. So, because
Yeah,
I tried to put two and two. I was like, maybe they didn't show that in the first one. Maybe I did missed it in the first one where it had that extra door. You
I,
know?
s- I remember because it's fresh in my mind. It did because that little garage door she used to keep her guns locked in. I
Oh,
forgot
okay.
all about it, and it was like, well, shit.
Where Karen grabbed the joint, right?
And Michael's
Okay.
like, oh, all right. Yep. Just gonna wait here. Wait here till the firefighters come here.
You know what? I'm just waiting for them to like put in like an extras on the DVDs or like on streaming of like them showing the camera, like having a camera of where Michael's just like looking and like
Yeah.
because in the movies where he just pops up from scene to scene, just everywhere. I wish they would show the transition to that. Like Michael just, all right, well, there's this extra door over here. I'm just gonna go walk over
Just
here
gonna
and
walk
open the
over.
door. Just gonna close this, and I'll see you guys here in a few minutes when the firefighters show up. Like, you know what? Put that in the fucking bloopers. Universal Studios, put that into the fucking bloopers, man.
That would be a great fucking sketch. Just the parts you don't see of Michael just doing, just him, just like as soon as somebody runs away, he's just like, "All right, I'm gonna wait here. She coming this way? Fuck, she turned.
I'm dead.
You gotta hustle." Anyway, as far as the kills though, yeah, he fucking wrecks the fire pit guys, and then it just shows him how. It also shows how ruthless he is. Like children aren't fucking safe. He killed that one kid with the shamrock mask, uh, and then the old people, and then there's like the two the couple. One, he killed SpongeBob, man. He fucking killed SpongeBob. That was Tom Kenny. That is SpongeBob, man. I don't, and I recognize the other guy, but they were
Yeah.
living in his fucking house,
Mhm.
and probably the only line that I'm kind of mixed on is I literally heard SpongeBob tell Michael, you've come home. It's like, well, no fucking shit.
I
You
dude,
just had that one ready just in case.
I like that scene, and I also like that couple as well. And that
Never
should go
funny.
for all the people in my comments in a lot of my videos that call me a homophobe and all those.
Yeah.
Look, I appreciate the gay couple in this movie, man, because they used them right.
Subtle.
Yeah, very very subtle. It wasn't any extra super duper like you barely. I should say you barely knew they were gay,
Yas.
but you could. Yeah, they weren't doing no shit like that. You know what I mean? They were just funny. They were there. They
Yeah.
served their purpose, and the kills with these characters were good too.
Yeah.
But speaking of characters, there's a character in this movie that you and I shitted on in 2018, and they somehow survived 2018 and showed up in this movie. And I felt like they actually played a not a significant part in the actual story, because again, the story of this movie pretty much sucks.
Yeah.
But they played a significant part in character building and eventually meeting their demise. And the kill was awesome as well. And that character was Cameron.
Yeah. Like
I
that.
felt like they did this character justice, man. I felt like in this movie he served his purpose the right way. This to me, this is a kind of character that in a trilogy you build the right way,
Yeah.
because that's why I didn't really want to spoil it for you when we talked about 2018, because I was like, we really hate him in the first movie, but in the second movie, I mean, he's still a prick in the second movie. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, but the way they built him, the way they did this character, where we also didn't know that. Well, I think they might have hinted at it a little bit in the first one, but where we didn't know that he was Lonnie's son. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So the fact that they ran, they got Allison. And can we talk about that scene, by the way? The hospital scene where Allison's sitting there arguing with everybody and wanting to go and help and get Michael Myers.
Yeah.
I hate using the word cringe,
Yeah.
but I feel like I probably have to use the word cringe when describing that scene.
Yeah.
And then with her running around with a fucking shotgun, and she's like, "We're gonna go get Michael, and we're gonna fucking kill that motherfucker, and then we're gonna do this.
You
Oh,
ain't
we should go
gonna
to we
do
should go to Michael Myers' house and
shit.
do all this other shit." And then she comes face to face with Michael Myers. Michael Myers beats the shit out of her, and then her mom comes to the rescue, and then obviously we know what happens. Again, the
She got
writing
her
in this
mom
movie
killed.
is pretty fucking bad. Like there's some subtle hints of great writing in this movie, but most of it's pretty fucking bad.
Yeah.
And it's executed, and if it's good, it's executed horribly horribly in this movie.
Yeah. It is like well, I don't know, like you do have to have some characters that are ignorant. Sometimes I try to separate the depictions of the characters from being an agenda, because like I get the fact that these are kids that don't know better. But then again, you got the adults thinking that like Tommy Doyle literally is responsible for getting a mental patient murdered. He literally whipped them all into a fucking ridiculous frenzy, and to me, I'm not even. And to me, like I said, I love the message that this is how Michael Myers' crimes has affected a town. He's literally making them come apart at the seams,
Yep.
and but they shouldn't have done the mental patient killing himself bit. But the same here. I feel like, bitch, you've experienced Michael Myers. It was stupid of you to fucking. You got your mom killed. That's what happened. The granddaughter got her mom killed.
Yeah.
100%. And she got her boyfriend killed. You know,
Yep.
I believe, like, as soon as you heard a gunshot, you drive the fuck away. Fuck that. And and then and then I agree with you. The boyfriend character was better this time around, but it's kind of it showed that he's an asshole, but at the very least he's trying to help. Like he understands how serious the situation is,
Yeah.
and
Especially with his dad saying that, he came face to face with him when he was a kid.
yep, and it was it was interesting, the way they developed that's one of the, yeah, then that's one of the cases where they do develop it pretty well. Um, I cared about his death, and it was a good way to just kind of like kill him, because then it acted like Michael was gonna like leave him alone. He's like, nah, we twist that. twist that button off real quick. And it's like fucking it was a good death, but yeah, but as far I agree, I think you and me are kind of on point where the characters again they either work or they don't, and it's all just based on how they develop them. Um, and I don't know, that kind of leads to one of my more favorite kills too, because he didn't just kill that guy, he just took his time, he fucked him up like.
Yeah, he did. And
And
then walks down, takes his time, walks down the steps, and then going after Allison. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I forgot I left this motherfucker over here. Let me go ahead
damn,
and
hold
just go ahead and twist his fucking head. And all right, let me go on, walk down, continue to walk down the steps, and go after Allison. Like I like that.
He's
I
like, did I leave the stove on? So like you just fucking just
some
it
of the
was
best
great.
kills, if you think about it, some of the best kills in all of the Halloween franchise are usually the boyfriends of the final girls.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that. I mean, would we count Rachel as one of the final girls in 4 because she survived,
Her
or is
like
Danielle Harris still like the final girl in that movie, definitively?
in 4, though both of those are really, I guess you'd consider the final girl because they
Okay,
were the ones that made it out alive. The
so we
only
can
ones
say
that
the kill with the boyfriend of Rachel's, the one that was cheating on her with the cop's daughter in 4.
yeah.
That kill was one of my favorites with the shotgun. Oh,
Yeah,
that was one of my favorites.
just stuck. I've never. Yeah, that's true. That's something totally different. I thought first time I saw it, I thought he's like, oh shit, Michael's pulling out the gat. He's gonna shoot somebody for the first time. Nope.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know how to
Oh
shoot a
my
gun. I
god.
only know how to stab people.
Hey, this looks cool, man. Look, if I could go to like, I'm not a big fan of going to like these big public, things like cons and stuff like that, just because I weird stuff happens in big, large public places like
Yeah,
that a lot of
yeah,
times, and I tend to stay away from that. But
yeah,
pictures like this makes me want to go to shit like that, though. I mean, this
yeah.
looks awesome.
I
Like,
mean,
imagine
it,
getting a picture with I mean, obviously it's a fake Dr. Loomis, but getting a picture with the fake Dr. Loomis, like
this is.
that's awesome.
I love. Oh, dude, it's something I always wanted to do too. Meet Bill Mosley. Hell, when Sid Haig was still alive, I wanted to
Oh
go.
man.
Meet Sid so bad. And which he's now officially in the Halloween franchise. Well, he's been in the Halloween franchise because he was the gravekeeper in the zombies Halloweens. The only
Mhm.
you made that little cameo.
Yep.
And I was like the first. I was like, "It's fucking Spawning, Spawning." Shit, it
Oh
was
man.
great. So,
Yeah, everybody from Rob Zombie's crew made appearances in those movies. I mean, you had obviously
yeah,
Sharon Moon Zombie, Jeffrey Dean, not Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Jeffrey Daniel Phillips.
yeah.
Ken
Um,
Forey was in it. He was in the first Halloween of Rob Zombies. Like
yeah,
they were all in there, man.
that's some great.
Telling you.
Yeah. We need to talk about those one day too. Like just a good talk because I think they do deserve because
I prefer not to talk about the second one. That second
uh,
one is
we can
still like
pretend that one doesn't exist.
uh
Just,
yeah.
but
The first one was I mean a lot of people say both of them were sucked, but that first one I actually hold into probably into like my top 5.
it I think that first one was a pretty. It deserves a little more credit because all it is, it's just a totally different take
Yeah, it's a
on.
different take on Michael Myers, and people don't understand. Like I know, and look, they wanted Rob Zombie to Rob Zombie fight the fuck out of the Halloween franchise, and that's what he did.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
did. He
exactly.
did do a second one. They wanted him to do a second one, which is why the second one sucked.
Yeah.
There was not really a story to tell for Halloween 2 after the first one. And if I mean there could have been, right? I mean obviously, but the way they did it was just so stupid. The whole white horse thing and all that other bullshit. Like
I was so stupid. Like, there's lots of things. To me, it's like I would rather that movie have just stayed like her blowing his fucking face off. Like that would have been fine. Just you
they
know,
should have Batgirled that movie. That's what the fuck they should have done.
yeah, just not bad.
They should have
But
they should have did with that movie what they did with Batgirl. fucking trash it, put it in, throw it in a trash can, lock it away in a vault, and never fucking think about it ever again.
Yeah,
Um,
there's still a lot to talk about there. Like some of the what went wrong, and the few things that went right. That little boy was a great character. But anyways, let's not get into that. We gotta talk about kills and and
so
yeah,
so we get to we had the final kill. I'm not the final kill, the final scene, right? And you
yeah,
mentioned it before where they kind of lead the whole town. It's like the town against Michael Myers. And in the trailer, we saw a little bit of it, and I said, and you guys can go back on this channel as well. I think my trailer reaction is still on this channel. From a couple years ago or from last year when I did it. And I said about this trailer is that I don't want to see an entire town of people facing Michael Myers. But when you see the movie in the context, I like this scene a lot because you're still thinking, you obviously know that they're not going to kill Michael Myers. It's not going to be the whole town killing, but you're like, how is this movie going to end? This movie should not end on them killing Michael Myers and thinking that he's dead. I don't want to see that. And I'm glad that we got to see Michael Myers get back up, kill everybody. I'll get to the
yeah,
Tommy thing here in a second, but kill everybody and then goes off into the darkness, finds Karen, and kills her upstairs in the Myers house while looking outside the window,
yeah,
going back to the flashback of where you're talking about where he's staring outside the window.
yeah,
Gripe with this final scene. Killing Tommy. They shouldn't have done it. Tommy should have lived. If you're going to keep Lindsay alive, you keep Tommy alive because now we know what look
yeah,
again, not here to talk about the agendas that they're pushing. I say
yeah,
that for my own, individual videos, but Jesus Christ, man. Clear as day. Clear as day what the fuck they're doing. You're killing Tommy. You got Hackett, not Hackett, Sheriff Hawkins still in the bed in the hospital. Oh, but all of a sudden Laurie Strode's good to go. She's up out and about. She's running around the hospital. Cares what it's like, bruh, what are they doing here, man? What are they doing?
yeah,
Now the writing for me though with Tommy was that you kind of handcuff this character too because midway through the movie he's leading the mob to kill the patient. Then after that he's like, oh man, I'm so sorry. Oh, it wasn't Michael Myers. Oops, our bad.
oops,
And it's like, bruh, what are y'all doing with these characters, man? The writing's all over the place with this movie.
yeah,
But I'm glad that we got the ending that we got. I'm still not happy with them killing Tommy because if you're gonna kill the Tommy character, why even put him in this movie? Why put him in this movie
yeah,
for an hour and a half just to kill him?
yeah,
For him to make mistake after mistake after mistake, and then he dies,
yeah,
and we got Lindsay, who's probably not gonna play any kind of important part at all in Halloween Ends except for probably an early kill.
yeah. I imagine so. And also we mentioned how they wanted to establish that like Michael's not after Lori. You know, I think that's gonna be. I think they did that on purpose because it does seem like there's two elements to Michael. There's something pathological or something just random. You know, and I think it's kind of both.
Mm-hmm.
But for ends to take place, I think it's clearly it's Michael's gunning for that bitch. And maybe they're just trying to, you know, because that's to me when you play with that element, you really kind of are still keeping it in the center. Because what makes Michael scary is that we don't understand him.
Mm-hmm.
We do not understand why he does what he does. Like I think they tried to establish something about the window, and that he's seeing something that we're not seeing.
Yeah, like I still like that. I'm not even gonna try and pretend that I know exactly what the fuck they're talking about when they say that, because
Yeah,
or when they're doing that whole I guess is would we call that a theme of the theme? It's at least one of the themes of the story. But I don't understand what they're talking about when they do that. Like he's looking out into the like, is he just fascinated with the whole town of Haddonfield?
Yeah,
But I want to go back to what you were saying. Like we don't know why he's doing what he's doing. Like he's running around killing all these people, and the way that he kills them too. Like I would hope that the directors and the writers and the, the people in charge of making this movie and telling this story kind of give us a little more depth, because if we're going from Halloween, the first Halloween, to 2018 to now, to Kills, and then to now Ends, there's no explanation as to why Michael is the way he is.
yeah,
There's no explanation as to why he's running around killing people, and the way that he kills them. I mean, again, going back to that firefighter, like this dude is a straight up monster, bro.
yeah.
In every fucking sense of the word. So how do we explain that in Halloween Ends? How do we get to the point where he's this monster that doesn't care who the fuck he kills, doesn't care who gets in his way. He's just going out to kill, and he has no purpose. Nobody likes a movie, or I shouldn't say a movie, but nobody likes a character that you're building in an entire trilogy that has no meaning in doing what they're doing. That's dead. That's bottom of the barrel fucking character development.
It's yes and no, because well, that's the thing. That's what Loomis, you know, was talking about. When he gave the famous speech, I met this child who was, had no understanding of right or wrong, good or evil, and he said, he spent all those years trying to reach him, and then he finally just realized there's nothing to reach for. There's nothing but pure evil living in the living evil that is in that boy, you know. And I tried to keep him, locked away, and then when his voice, they did the voice recording in the 18 version, he said, just you need to fucking kill him and incinerate the body. Like the amount of damage that Michael took in this movie alone
Yeah.
has definitely established that it's something's up. You know what I mean? And it's same in the original movie. Like he literally took a full magazine of bullets in the chest and fell out of a house and lived. So something, they're definitely going with that, and they're just now starting to address the fact this nigga, what is he? I forget what it said in Curse. He was cursed in the Curse of the Michael Myers, but I don't think they're gonna do that. I hope
I don't
not.
know. I don't know, because just like when you said, like when she's mentioning the whole like transcending thing, it's just like, yeah, but
That sounds a
look,
little weird.
we're yeah, it sounds like paranormal kind of shit, but it's like if we're going off of the four movies that you're saying are the only ones that matter, which is the original, 2018, Kills, and Ends. What are you talking about with transcending? Like where's the context there? Because look, this movie had some good moments.
Yeah.
But when look, and you even see down here where he's looking out the window, then you see Karen looking out the window, you see him behind her, all that other shit, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we need to know what the fuck does any of this shit mean? What does him looking out the window mean? What is him going out here? Look, yes, I understand
Meaningless.
Dr. Loomis says that, look, you can't get to him. The dude needs to die. He's not, there's no good or bad to him. He's just straight up evil. There's no meaning to what he's doing. But I mean, I
It,
feel like we need a
it,
little bit more context for this.
is that a scare? But is that a scarier? What I'm arguing is that a scarier idea than if there is like a sort of unknown meaning? Just because that to me is what they're trying to kind of stay in between. Like is that pathological or random? Is this?
Yeah, but the thing is, we have too many of these already. The main, I should say villain, but the main serial killers already have like no, like Freddy Krueger. Like, yeah, he was,
He was
there was a
sick,
story. Yeah, there was a story of him being like a pedo or whatever
pedophile.
the fuck, and then he goes and kills all these people throughout the franchise, right? But there's no actual real purpose with them except for like, oh, he's trapped like in there, like he can only bring nightmares and whatever the fuck. I
Yeah.
get that. But what is his purpose? Not really purpose there. Jason. What I mean, yeah, he had the original person in the original movie, but throughout the franchise, what's Jason Voorhees' purpose? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh,
He
when
just
you're telling an entire story. Now, I can see if they're saying there's going to be 9 movies, or we're just going to go from movie to movie and see how we do, budget wise, and see if we'll make another one, kind of like how Scream is doing. But where you're saying is that this is a trilogy coming after the original. Where is Michael Myers going character development wise? And I'm not saying we have to have this full blown fucking like, oh, he was living in a home, the white picket fence and all of it. Like, we don't need to know all that. Like, I mean, it's cool if we do, but we don't need to know all of that. But my whole thing is, it's like, did something go down in that house where Michael feels protective of it? You know what I mean?
yeah.
Does he want to look out into the city of Haddonfield because maybe the entire city treated him terribly and he wants to be above everyone else, per se? Something. Give us something in Halloween Ends for us to have a clear cut
Yeah.
fucking answer onto why Michael Myers, especially with the whole window thing. Like, now that you introduce the whole window thing in Kills, what does all this mean?
Yeah. And I think the concern now is I really hope that doesn't, amount to something stupid, something that's
Yeah.
just kind of, because that's what you risk when you build something up like that. You got to have a payoff, something that makes, sense, something that's, and Michael is a more dynamic character than Freddy Krueger and Jason. You know what I mean? I
Mm,
believe that 100%. Because you know there are Michael Myers. Like John Carpenter based the character on a little boy he met in the severe parts of the mental institutes. Just a kid who really hurts somebody, and he doesn't say anything, he doesn't move, he just stares. And
hmm
John Carpenter said that's the character that I want to portray. And but there's more going on in Michael Myers than just, Jason just kills
Yeah.
because he just no that you don't need any more development than that. You don't watch a Friday the 13th movie to understand Jason. You just want to see
And in the
Jason fuck
early
shit
movies, it
up.
was because of his mom.
It was. Well, to me, hell, his mom had more development in that regard because she lost her son due to the teenagers,
Yep.
not watching him, and
Being neglectful. Yeah.
she goes crazy and just starts killing teenagers. So that makes somewhat sense. And then Jason sees his mom get her knob cut off. So he's just like repeating that. There's this great channel I wanted to recommend you. It's called The Vile Eye, and it's a series called Analyzing Evil. He talks about a lot of the most evil characters, and one of them is Michael Myers. He has a pretty good take on it. He says, "I don't know which is which. Like I said, is it the fact that he repeating the murder of his sister over and over with each new victim?
Yeah.
That's like he's stuck in that moment, like he trying to relive that the feeling of that, murdering his sister, his first kill, again and again and again, and then Lori, and they kind of played with that too, with in Kills at the end where Karen was just like, "Look at me, I'm innocent," you
Yeah.
know, so I'm just
Yep.
like your sister. You could feel it, can't you? Like, and it's possibly that's what they're getting at too, because he did pursue, or it could have just been he wanted his mask back, which that was one of the best parts of the movie too. Karen was still, she ended up being a pretty damn good character. Her death was definitely a good, like a good uncomfortable feeling to leave you with at the end of this movie. Just, and
Fact. Yeah.
I think you mentioned too that like this big militia that Tommy put together. At first they kick his ass, and then he just gets right back up and fucking wrecks them. It's
Yeah.
like
And
Like
I wish they didn't kill Tommy, man. I really wish they didn't kill him in this movie.
he might. I don't know. I don't think they. He really. It showed Michael really messing him up. Like, but I also watched the extended edition. Well, it only has like an extra. They changed the ending.
Hmm.
Because the original ending having Michael, talk to Lori on the phone. Well, not really talk, but just. And then Laura was just like, "I'm coming for you."
Yeah.
It's like that was how she found out her daughter was dead, which I thought was eerie, an eerie way. But it didn't definitively show Tommy die in the
Oh,
main
he's dead.
ending we have now,
Oh, he's dead.
because it showed after he hit Tommy with the bat, he literally broke the bat and took the sharp part and stabbed him. That was not in the this ending, in the theoretical ending. So then the director said he changed that because he has he said he had a different direction he wanted to take. He said if the film would have they because there was a point where the third film ends was this is going to continue on the same Halloween night instead of 4 years later, right? Or however many years later it was.
Yeah. Well, Halloween Ends is 4 years later.
4 years. Yeah. Originally, he was planning on having the ends, take place that same night.
Yeah.
But then he kind of, he figured out he wanted to go a different direction. And so he edited a few key scenes. So I think he wanted to make it sure that Tommy was not definitively dead, maybe. Because, and I'm
Well,
just going off of what I saw.
yeah.
He didn't get stabbed with the bat this time. He just got beat with the bat. And I was like, I wonder why they took that part out. Maybe it's because
Yeah.
he thought it was a mistake too to kill Tommy.
I don't know, but the one that I saw, you can pretty much tell he's dead. I mean, Michael fucks everybody up in that one. Um, to me, there were no survivors in that whole brawl, that final brawl. Um,
Yeah.
Before he left. Now, after he left, obviously you see like all those cops and everybody out there and everything else, and then you see Karen looking out there. Then he does the whole, you know, uh, call back to the killing the sister thing, right? From the original. But with Halloween Ends, I do want to ask you, man, because I just came across a couple pictures, and I'm feeling like it's being a little bit too nostalgic. I don't want to. I, I don't want to complain too early about it being too nostalgic because we've seen that Laurie Strode is wearing one of the original outfits that she had in the first one, but it is on Halloween night 4 years later. So it could be her just dressing up as her original outfit, which again is kind of weird when given the events that happened in 1978.
Yeah.
But here's the first picture with her and Lindsay from the original. And then so I really hope that this is not. This looks like this is going to be in the actual movie. I really hope it's not, because while I wish they could give nods, like I don't mind them getting. I wouldn't say that wish,
Yeah.
but while I
It
don't
looked,
mind them giving nods and Easter eggs to and tipping of the hats to the original, we don't really need it because it's already connected to the original. Like we don't really need. With Rob Zombies, we could have had the nods because of it was a different universe. This one is just like, well, you were wearing the same outfit 45
yeah.
years ago. So you don't really
It
need
could
to.
be just a little something, It might not even be what we think it is. That
Mhm.
don't look like it should even be in the movie. Like it's just like I don't
I
see
hope not,
why.
but with the serious looking face on Lindsay's face, it looks
Yeah,
like it's gonna be a scene. That's the only reason why I'm like, I hope it's not. Like, I hope you're
I
right.
hope it's not either.
I hope it's not a scene because I
Yeah.
really don't want them to be too nostalgic with this movie. Go
Yeah.
ahead and tell the story that you want to tell and finish the shit.
Yeah.
And give it back to people that are gonna actually do this franchise justice. Uh,
Agreed. Agreed. I think it would be stupid if they actually because that's getting hard housey.
yeah, and the box office, man, is gonna take a hit this weekend because well, it's releasing on Peacock as well.
Yeah.
So we'll see how many people actually go out to the movie theaters and actually give this movie time of day, or they're going to sit down in front of their big ass screen TVs, probably just much like myself, and watch this fucking movie. I'm gonna go see it in theaters first, and then then obviously we're gonna do the watch party.
Thinking about that too. I'm
Yeah,
thinking about I want to see it theaters because I feel bad that I didn't watch Kills in theaters. I thought that would have been a bit especially fun.
bro. Just the entire experience, man. The entire experience. Going there with horror movie fans, such as yourself, and sitting there in a movie theater and just popping at the same time. I mean, it's the same thing as going to see an MCU movie. At least back when the MCU was good. Going to see an MCU movie with other real comic book fans, and just popping every time something really cool happens or something that you're like, only you guys would know. It's the same thing with Halloween. It's like when you hear Loomis' voice, like in Kills, when everybody heard Loomis' voice, everybody was going crazy, man. And then they actually saw Loomis, and it was like, oh my god, like moments like that, man, is what I live for. Like the movie, I always talk about the movie theater experience that I had with Infinity War and Endgame. Like, there's no experience will ever top those two movie experiences ever.
Yeah.
It's just because every 5 minutes the crowd, like everybody was going crazy about everything. And it's just, they were both so emotional as well. So look, movies, as you guys know, man, movies do something special to human beings, bro. It does. And when you're talking about a horror movie and you get people that love a horror movie franchise so much, and you put them in the one place to see a movie that probably we won't see again or see revived until maybe 5 to 10 years from now, if we're lucky. I mean, think about it. The only Halloween movies we had between 2000 and between 2000 and 2017, before we got 2018, we had 3.
Yeah.
And between 2010 and 2020, we only had 1 Halloween movie.
Yeah.
So we went an entire decade with 1 Halloween. Think about it, guys. After this movie, we might not get it. We might go a whole nother decade without a Halloween movie. It's possible. So you only get one chance to see this movie in theaters. Whether this movie's going to be good or bad, I have to see this movie in theaters at least.
Yeah. John Carpenter did say that he said if it makes money, it's definitely going to continue. Like, that's the way things work. If it's making enough money, it's always going to, be around. That's just the way it works. The only thing is that I think they need to do something different. Take a left turn. Like after they do this, and literally that's one of the reasons why this, these movies, the H40 trilogy now, is doing it like this, is because it's nostalgia bait. It really is. It's
right now,
and it's starting to become more prevalent with all the legacy characters. It's starting to become more prevalent with in ends. Heck, you showed me that picture. It's just kind of make me think, all right, come on, let's just dial it back. I want to see Michael Myers, as a character, like there's more we could do with the character than just have him, which to me it proves, which I think that was what they were going to do anyway with Resurrection and H2O, that they were just going to have him be sort of that kind of, boogeyman, just nothing too canonically crazy.
Yeah.
But that didn't really work out that well. Continuing the story is probably going to be impossible now because Jamie Lee Curtis has said it's going to be her last time playing Laurie Strode. She doesn't want to do it anymore. Yeah, I mean,
thank God.
Nick Castle said he doesn't want to play. He wants to do this one more time as Michael, but
he's in the 70s, of course. Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised they brought back some of the original people, more original people than I thought they would bring back.
Yeah,
I'm very shocked that they're bringing back all these original characters for this, or original actors and people for that. I do want to mention though, Michael Myers still holds, and especially with Halloween Kills, still holds the kill count, the top kill count in horror movie franchises. Oh, you guys can't see the bottom of it. Damn it. Um,
Right.
yeah, you guys can't see. Let me see if I can pull up the actual stat real quick uh, for you guys. But as you guys can see, Michael is down there at the bottom right. And let me see if I can pull this up. I don't know why I can't pull up the stats for this guy. Um, but yeah, I mean, Michael Myers still. I mean, how many kills did? Do you know how many kills he had in this movie?
He probably, oh my God, he killed fucking 10 firefighters right at the beginning. It's like I wasn't even keeping count because eventually just got to the point, it's like, he ain't done. He kills 10 more people at the end. He probably killed damn near 30 people in this movie.
Yeah, he killed a lot of fucking people.
And shit. I
So
mean,
so so right now, so since you guys can't see the bottom of it, it has Freddy Krueger at 42 kills. I believe this is Victor Crowley from the Hatchet series or Hatchet
yeah,
franchise
it's
at
good series.
59. Yeah, really good series. And by the way, shout out to Danielle Harris. She's in that franchise as well in a few of those movies.
I love you, Daniel.
Uh, Hannibal Lecter at 98, which I've never seen those movies. Shame
Damn.
on me, right? How the fuck Hannibal Lecter has 98 kills? I have no idea.
He ate
Michael
them all.
Myers, yeah, Michael Myers at 170 kills. So he's
Damn.
up like fam. He's almost double than Hannibal Lecter, bro. So he by far the most kills in horror movie franchises.
Dude, he beat Jason, and that's crazy.
How does Jason have that little kills, man?
I thought
I'm sorry. I mean, wait, not that little kills. I'm sorry. I thought it said 58. It's 158. Okay, so it's kind of out
it
of
was
order.
158, and it's like oh my God, like Michael really does sit at the top, man. Just like he, and to me, it's like, and you go to see Jason, and all the creative ways he kills, but it's like something about just the way Michael does it. It feels so iconic. You know what I mean? I'm just watching. It's like getting killed by Jason's one thing because he'll punch your dome piece off like that
Oh
one
yeah.
time. But to me, it's like I don't know. I'm more scared of. I wouldn't want to. Jason is essentially indestructible. What Michael will do to you is worse. You know what I mean? Like he'll take your teeth. He'll like. He wants to
Uh huh.
scare you. He wants you to know
He'll
I'm
play
coming
around
for
with you.
that ass.
Yeah. He'll definitely play around with you, and not in a good way. This scene right here, man. I keep going after this one. This is probably one of my. I'd probably say my favorite kill only because she dude takes a light bulb, sticks it in a lady's neck, takes it back out, and sticks it back in. Then she's laying there, and then she sees her husband, and then I love the camera, the way the camera pans over to where like the focus isn't really on Michael Myers and the dead husband on the counter, but you can see in the background where it's like faded out a little bit, where Michael Myers is using her husband as a fucking pincushion with the
Yeah,
knife, and just taking knife by knife by knife, and just taking each one and just sticking it in them. Like
yeah,
I'm telling you, man, Michael Myers plays around with
brutal.
his fucking victims, man.
Oh, he starts like arranging them in like creative ways again too. Like, like there's something about that is truly, and it's familiar, and he's always done that too. In the original movie, he did something with he stole his sister's tombstone, and then you know, and of course he decorated the house with bodies. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? Just had them, like, and like you said, he does that head tilt. Just like he's curious about it. It's like he
Yep.
wants to see what that looks like, and man, I love, and that's one of the things that love about the 2018 movie and Kills, and I'm hoping we still got to see ends, but this Michael Myers has been a thorough, fan service for sure. You know what I mean? Just like, just it's 100%. This is the most Michael Myers we've had in over a decade. I feel like it's the best Michael Myers. You know, he's up there. It might be the best depiction because it feels like he's all of the movies, Michael Myers at the same time. All the best. Just
We still have to get in ends. I'm only hoping for one thing in ends, which when it comes to Michael, because we know he's gonna die, but
mm,
I'm only hoping that we get to see the Michael Myers come down from the rafters or come down from the ceiling, where you see his feet come down
yeah,
first. That whole
we
thing,
talked about
and we obviously have to see him do the whole sit up and the head tilt thing. I mean, come on, dude.
yeah.
We got to see that. We got to see that in Halloween Ends. I
We
hope they do
got
that.
to see it. I
I hope
don't
we see
know
that.
for sure if they'll kill him because the truth is he's been killed many times in ways that just hell, he's been killed. How many times has he done been killed in this trilogy? It's like
But they
I
said that they said that this is a definitive end of the story. So my question is, are they like are they gonna keep him alive for this one?
I mean he could kill Lori. You know,
I hope
I
they.
mean,
I'm banking on them killing Lori. I'm banking because you can't have Lori and the granddaughter alive. So I think the only person that's really going to survive this whole story is going to be the annoying granddaughter, the one character everybody hates.
yeah,
I think they're going to keep her alive because they said because Gordon Green, I forget that David Gordon Green. Why do people keep putting all three names in their shit? But anyways, David Gordon Green said that this is going to be like the end of this story because they're not coming. Like John Carpenter's out after this. Jamie Lee
yeah,
Curtis is out after this. Like all of them are pretty much all the OG people are out of this. All the important people are out
yeah.
after this one. So they're ending the story. But the question is, if you end the story but you don't kill Michael Myers, ooh, what are
How
they
do
going
you
to do?
end it? Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And the truth is, it's like, can it end? It's just like I don't know. Like that's
As,
and
as long as it doesn't end like Texas Chainsaw, which is
yeah,
where they had what was it his nephew, I mean his niece taken care of. It was Leatherface and his niece. It's sitting in the kitchen chilling.
yeah,
Like fam, what? Yeah, as long as it doesn't end like that, I think we'll be okay.
yeah. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. It's one of the things that makes me look forward to this movie because I have to see how this is going to play out. It's definitely going to be. I see it being a very bloody, violent. And to me, it's like how we talked about. How the original movie should have focused mostly on the central characters. You know, since the central characters now have literally lost damn near everybody they know to this monster, it's like I don't see how. And that's one of the good things about Kills is that it doesn't waste time hardly. It doesn't waste a lot of time. It has a pretty good pace. We don't go to no fucking clubs and see phones thrown in pudding. Like, I'm still hung up on that. Why did he throw the phone in the pudding? That's why I cherish that ass whooping you got at the hands of Michael. It's like, don't throw a fucking phone in the pudding, Nick. I mean, what the hell? I mean, but anyway, as far as it ends, I'm fully, fully anticipating Lori's dead. I'm willing to bet on it.
Yeah, I'm banking on that one.
If she don't die, it'll be stupid.
The
Just how are you gonna kill her though? That's the real question. Does she
yeah
go out and try to take Michael with her?
yeah
I
yeah.
don't know.
I don't know. As long as it's not I mean, we're not going to see another resurrection situation. We know that for sure. It's not going to be a whole other see you in hell, Michael situation. But at the same time, man, having Laurie Strode fighting Michael, we know we know that there is going to be another fight scene between the two. So I mean,
Hmm.
that's one thing. But at the same time, Laurie Strode and Michael, I think they're both going to kill each other, man. I think maybe they both like die in some fire, and maybe they both die of their own wounds trying to kill each other. Again,
Hmm.
this isn't supposed to be about just Laurie Strode. I feel like Hawkins has to play an important part somewhere in there, just because you don't do that flashback you did in Kills. You don't have him give that dialogue that he gave in the middle of the movie in Kills, where he's like, "It's not about you, Laurie. It's pretty much about the whole town."
Yeah.
Um, we're gonna see, guys. We're gonna see, and
Yeah.
do keep in mind that we are gonna be doing the watch along, little watch along, watch party, whatever the fuck you want to call those things. We're gonna be doing one this weekend at some point. So TBH, to be determined.
To be determined.
Did I say TBH? I'm sorry. That's to be honest. I'm not good with that fucking acronym shit. But so TBD on that one, but it will be at some point this weekend. So be on the lookout for that when Jake and I do come out
Yep.
with the watch party, because that will be live. So if you guys want to watch along on Peacock or whatever, or just want to tune in and hear our commentary or see our commentary on Halloween Ends on the end of the trilogy, this is actually kind of like a blessing in disguise, because while I am mad that they're handicapping their fucking box office, if you're saying that you want to make all this money to make another Halloween movie, don't try and encourage people to go out to theaters when you're also releasing it on a streaming service the exact same day.
Yeah.
That's just my own little word of advice on that one. But it is kind of a blessing in disguise, because hey, I mean, we're able to watch it and give our initial reactions, do a watch party. It's not like it's releasing only in theaters and we're only going to be able to see it in theaters. So make sure you guys be on the lookout for that, because that will be happening later on this week. I got some more videos coming out to you guys as well. Got some more fuck shit videos. Got some more wrestling videos that I'm looking to do as well, especially after Extreme Rules last night. So make sure you guys keep on the lookout for that. But Jake, anything else you want to say about Halloween Kills, or anything you want to say going into Halloween Ends about this whole trilogy and how it's going to play out?
Um, I will say, like, I've been extra, like, a lot of the talk I've been, we've had is speculative, because I am like excited to see if that's to me that if you're going to do a trilogy, you do have to have that momentum. So I do think Kills gave a lot more momentum to the next one than 2018 did for Kills. So
Facts.
I think as a whole, once the trilogy is out, we'll end up, out, seeing the big picture. I hope that it comes together the way they're intending it, because that's really the biggest criticism I have about this trilogy, is that it just feels just kind of, cut up. It just feels it's like the best parts of the movie are just kind of spread out very thin through three movies. You know, and I'm hoping that just I don't know. There's a lot riding on ends. It'll probably do well. It'll probably do well because it will make money on its streaming. Kills did well last year too. It did, think it made its money, plenty of money last year, and
I can't remember. Hold on. I know it didn't make too
it didn't
much.
make as much,
I
but
think it.
as 2018. But I think it, I think it definitely like was a pretty big success.
Uh, I'm checking right now. Uh, so Halloween Kills. All right, so Halloween Kills had a. I'm looking at the. It's showing me either a budget. What's Halloween Kills a fly? Jay, you keep talking, man. I'm just looking for the. I'm looking for
All
the
right, cool. I was curious myself. How much did that movie make? But yeah, as far as like my overall thoughts on Kills is that this was a fun. It definitely had moments that were very well executed, scary, and like I was saying, like the best part of the last movie is even better this time. Michael Myers is freaking just it might be. It's almost. I want to call it the ultimate Michael Myers movie because it's just, like you told me, he's fully off the chain this time, and he kills over 30 people. Like I think it outdid every movie in the franchise. I mean, as far as its kill count, and overall, yeah, I think this is I'd give the movie an 8 out of 10 if I gave it a total score as far. But it does, to me, that doesn't forgive its problems because there are some pretty glaring problems. But to me, the problems didn't ruin my overall experience.
Yeah.
Almost.
To me, this was a better experience than 2018.
Yeah, I'd agree with that too.
So Kills had a $20 million budget, and so they didn't do too bad. $131 million. That's actually really good for a $20 million movie.
But stream.
Yeah, but streaming doesn't count towards the whatchamacallit. Shout out to Super SC, says love you, bro. Thanks for the love, man. I don't know who you are, but thank you, man. Thank you for the
we love
the
you
love.
too.
And thank you for coming through, man. If you haven't already, hit that like and that subscribe. You already know, man. Got some more content coming to you. But Halloween Kills, yeah, $20 million budget, made $131 million. That's actually really good for a movie with that low of a budget.
Yeah, sure.
And I say low, like $20 million is nothing.
I mean,
$20 million is a lot of fucking money.
And after post COVID time, that's pretty damn good,
Yeah. And so the 2018 it had a $10 to $15 million budget and made $255.6 million. And it's the highest grossing slasher film, I believe, in the month of October of all time.
Yeah.
If not, slasher film, maybe of all time. I'm not sure, but I know it's the highest grossing Halloween franchise film of all time, which was 2018.
Wow.
Yeah, which is why they kind of spit out, Kills and all other stuff. But anyways, man, Jake, where can people find you, man?
I'm on Instagram.
I thought you were about to say I'm on the Mountain.
I'm on Mountain Dew. I'm on Mountain Dew. Yeah, we're up here. It's cold, but I'm cool. I'm mountain man. But I don't post on Instagram hardly anymore. But if you want to drop me a line, y'all can drop me then. My YouTube channel is The Jake, and I have 49 subscribers. I'm almost about to hit 50. So
get this boy up to 50, y'all.
I'd appreciate that. 50. Help me get that 50 bomb, y'all.
Yeah, man. Y'all better get the boy up to 50, y'all. Yeah, y'all out here playing around, man.
But I wanted to get your score. What would you give Halloween Kills?
Halloween Kills, man. I'd have to give this movie. I'd say a 6 out of 10. If we're going that route, like it overall to me, it's good. It's better than 2018. 2018, again, I really dislike that movie, and I have a lot more problems with 2018 than I did with Kills. Kills, I was satisfied with the kills. I was satisfied with the cinematography, the flashback scene. But at the end of the day, the dialogue was bad. Still, we're still getting bad character development other than, Cameron, who ended up dying, which again, I'm perfectly fine with his whole story, but everyone else is just like the Tommy situation, the Lindsay situation, going back to the way they introduced them characters to make it seem like it was like this super big reveal. You know what I mean? And again, the story, the mental patient thing that took out, that was like a whole 20 something minutes of the movie. That could have been cut out. Like, we didn't need that shit. Jamie Lee Curtis inserting her stupid fucking real world ideologies into a horror movie franchise, one of the most lucrative franchises, with 2018 being one of the larger ones. But again, this movie did not completely do it for me, but it is another movie that is like a guilty pleasure kind of thing where it's like I'll come back and watch it every now and then. This is a Halloween Kills movie. I mean, a Halloween movie that I will come back to maybe not every Halloween, but probably every other year,
Yeah.
most definitely. Yeah, my two least favorite Halloween movies are definitely going to be um, Halloween 2, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, and Halloween 2018 are my two like least favorite.
Wait till you see
Uh,
Curse of Michael Myers again.
yeah. I still got to watch. I've only seen Halloween 6 maybe twice, and none of them are recent. So I don't think I've seen that movie in at least like a good like 5 or 6 years. So I do have to go back and watch Halloween 6. But I think what I am gonna do one day, maybe like next year or something, I don't know, or some random day, I might watch 4, 5, and 6 consecutively.
Yeah.
For that whole Jamie Lloyd story, because I do like 4 and 5. I hold it's the same thing with H2O and Resurrection. It's just like I hold those two movies so close to my heart,
Yeah.
man. Resurrection was the
Same.
first Halloween movie I ever seen. That's what really got me into the Halloween franchise. And I
Yeah.
realized, oh wow, all these movies are better than the one that actually got me into the fucking franchise.
Yeah.
But
I would actually that was my point earlier, bro. If they do end up continuing from here at least,
yeah,
then they which would mean they don't definitively kill Michael. Then, well, to me that you could tell that same storyline from 4 again. You know, follow Jamie Lee or Jamie, not Jamie Lee. Fuck Jamie Lee, but Jamie Daniel Harris. You know.
I don't know if I want to see Daniel Harris back in this franchise.
Nah, get another. You got to get another girl. She can make like.
Yeah,
I don't, yeah,
we
I,
need
I don't
complete
know
new.
how
We
you.
need complete. You know what I think. I think and we'll talk more about this when we watch Ends this weekend. Obviously, when we're doing a watch party, There's going to be plenty of shit we're going to be talking about during Ends while also watching the movie, obviously.
Sure.
But I think that after Ends, they just need to completely just redo the franchise, redo
Yeah.
it. Still have Michael Myers, obviously. Do not. We know eventually they're going to try and go to the seasonal witch route. I don't think it's going to be successful. I do not think it's going to be successful. Um, Look, I might end up watching Season of Witch and maybe liking it. I highly doubt that I would ever like Season of Witch, but if I ever do watch that movie at some point, but I think if they do go back to the 4, what's that? That's like the Thorn trilogy, right? Is what they call it.
Yeah.
But if they go back to the whole Thorn trilogy or saga, because it actually spans over more than 3, right? Or maybe not. Either way, if they go back to that. Different characters, different actors and actresses. That's all I ask. Don't bring back any legacy characters, bro.
Yeah.
Just don't.
So just let the past be the past.
Yeah. To me, I just say brand new story. So redo the entire thing and just have Michael Myers. Completely different story, completely different characters. No Lloyd Strode doesn't exist. There's no Laurie. There's no Strode. There's no Jamie. There's no Lloyd. All right, none of that. None of that. And I think that you could probably catch lightning in a bottle with that, to be honest. But we know how the horror movie franchise does a lot of this modernization
Yeah.
of things. I mean, we saw what happened with Scream. And Scream wasn't a terrible movie, by the way. I actually ended up enjoying the movie. It wasn't a great movie, but I enjoyed it. It was good for what it was. But yeah, Jake, anything else you want to say before we get out of here, man?
Yeah. I'll say this. So far, this is. I won't say like I said. I feel a little more positive. But then again, I'm also asking myself, will I ever come back to watch these movies too? It's like, well, yeah, I might have enjoyed watching them, but what happens if I watch them again? And it's like, then I start noticing more stuff.
Yeah.
I think more than anything, maybe these films are just kind of for what they are. Now, I think they'll stand a better chance. They're not gonna. I don't think they'll be nearly as dated as some of the previous ones. And
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
and like I said, it's got the way its depiction of Michael will probably what will always stick out in my mind. Just for sure. Um, and it's the horror genre as a whole owes a lot to Halloween. You know what I mean? It really does. The slasher genre just wouldn't be what it is without Halloween.
Oh yeah,
And it seems to be setting a trend. Every time these movies come out, it sets a new trend.
yeah,
Because look at what that last Texas Chainsaw Massacre, what was
yeah.
it trying
Where
to
where
rip
they
off?
skip the entire fucking franchise and go from the original, and that one was pretty fucking bad. What
It's a
did
bit
Scream do? Scream. Wait, did Scream do? I think Scream did the same thing, right?
same thing. Because again, Halloween, that seems to be one of the main true powers that this franchise has is that it always seems to be to set the new trend for horror,
Yeah,
a new standard. And in this case, it could be good or bad, but we're seeing a lot more movies from our childhood and from the past get remakes because of this, new, well, not even remakes, but continuations, what they Hollywood likes to do, the nostalgia bait. So it's kind of good, but it's kind of bad. But that's the power of Halloween. It
yeah,
changed the game once in 1978, and it. I can make a positive out of this because it's changing the game in 2022 right now. So
yeah.
I don't think
I
it's
agree.
going anywhere.
I agree. And I say this all the time. Like I go back and watch the Friday 13th reboot that they did a few years ago, or I guess 10 years ago at this point.
Yeah,
Damn near. I go back and watch that all I should say all the time, but I go back and watch that at least once a year. That's one of my
yeah,
favorite Friday 13th movies.
yeah.
And it could possibly be just because it is the newest one and the only one we've had in the past 15 years, ever since, Freddy versus Jason. And before that, Jason, what, X?
Yeah.
So, I mean, ever since 2000, we've only had two Jason Solo movies.
Yeah.
So, again, man, we're gonna see a lot of these horror movie franchises kind of revive. I mean, I think Friday 13th just got their rights back too, so we are gonna get something from that hopefully soon. The Chucky franchise is right now. This Chucky TV series is killing its fucking franchise. Um, and I tried
Good and
telling
bad.
y'all about that shit a year ago about the terrible, nasty messaging that they had in the first season. And now, you see that shit trending the other day on Twitter because of the nasty messaging and the hammering of the fucking over the head with the stupid messaging and narratives and all that other stuff. And I'm just sitting here with my fucking glass of, or my fucking bottle of water, like, told you so.
What I tell you
Fucking told y'all. Told y'all
about
last
that
year
shit.
what the problem with that show was. Nobody wanted to listen. Now everybody wants to complain on Twitter about, Chucky, their weird messaging and the kids, and yeah, I try telling y'all. But anyways, man, let me get on out of here, man. Again, make sure you guys hit the notification bell on this channel because you never know when your boy is gonna have a video come up on the channel, as well as going live too, man. I mean, this was I didn't put up anything saying we're going live today. We just went ahead and went live, man. So you never know when your boy's going to be going live either. So make sure you guys not only hit that like and that subscribe, but also hit that bell as well, because you're going to be missing out on some real cool shit, man. But anyways, man, let's go ahead and get on out of here. It's your boy Corn. It's brother Jake as usual, man. Thank you, Jake, for joining me for this. It's half-ass pod, ladies and gentlemen. Half-ass pod, and we are OUT.